Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. Her knuckles jab my shoulder, my cup flips, liquid slaps my chest. I grip the counter to stop the slide. Phones tilt toward us like vultures hunting scraps. I'm Mara 24, I breathe out, steady and loud. Jade's smile hardens as the room lines in. I set the dripping cup upright and square my stance. Say you're sorry, she murmurs, breath close and smug. Tyler hovers behind me with a torn look. My jaw locks, something old in me clicks shut. Every eye waits for my first mistake. No, I deliver it flat, no sugar, no apology. Gasps jump, quick and hungry for fallout. Jade shifts one heel like she owns the floor. Bad call, someone whispers near the door. I feel the night tighten like a belt. Jade bumps my arm again, testing without fingerprints. I pivot my shoulder so the force dies. She lifts her phone till the lens stares cold. Admit you bumped me now, she purrs. I see where she thinks this will go. I raise my hands chest high, palms open, measured. Record, I say, and keep my voice even. Start with your shove, I add, eyes on hers. A tremor runs through the watchers like static. She flinches so small it almost hides. Tyler edges closer, fingers brush my sleeve and retreat. Let it drop, he whispers, eyes flicking toward her. My ribs ache under the wet fabric that clings. She wants a scene, I murmur without looking. He knows I won't hand it to her easy. Jade tilts the phone and searches for my fear. I give her stillness instead, quiet that cuts. One word and this goes viral, she says. Make it two, I answer, heat coiled but calm. Her lashes flutter, calculation misfires in real time. She steps into my space, perfume sharp like warning. You're in my house, she reminds, chin angled. Then host better, I say, and my mouth surprises me. Laughter cracks from the doorway, then dies fast. Jade's nostrils flare like a fuse catching. She reaches, fingertips skim my shoulder with fake concern. I knock her hand off and the contact pops. The room inhales and someone mutters, this is bad. Hands off, I say, low and final. Jade's phone shakes as her smile fractures. Clean up an apology, she says, voice iron thin. Confession first, I reply, eyes never leaving hers. Own the shove and we're done, I add. A circle forms, narrow stage, breaths measured. The next move decides who bleeds online. She lowers the phone to her thigh like a knife. I mentor girls, she tosses, fishing for halo light. Teach boundaries start here, I say, pulse racing slow. A few heads nod without courage to speak. Jade notices the drift and hates the truth. You're dramatic, she tries, glare sharpening under gloss. You hunted a reaction, you found me, I answer. Her jaw ticks once, tiny and telling like a crack. Apologize or leave, she snaps through clenched teeth. Neither, I say, and let the word ring. Silence spreads heavy, humid, full of wagers. I lift the ruined shirt hem and ring it once. Drops patter to tile like counting seconds. No apology, I state for the cameras and ghosts. This is the line I should have drawn years ago. Her forearm cuts across my chest, another shove, crowd tightens fast. I plant my feet and angle my hips for balance. A laugh breaks behind us and turns into hush. Back off, I warn, breath measured like a metronome. She steps in anyway, daring me to blink first. Tyler wedges an elbow between us like a seatbelt. Enough, he tries, eyes flicking from me to her. She smirks and nudges past him without care. I raise my empty hand to chest height, steady. If she pushes again, I will respond, and she knows it. A device lifts near the fridge with its camera awake. Get the start, I say, never taking my eyes off her. Make sure the shove is clear, I add with purpose. Jade's jaw ticks like a trigger ready to slip. She hates audiences that do math out loud. She lunges, fingertips hook my sleeve, fabric strains and snaps back. Gasps jump around us like popcorn in a bowl. I pivot and knock her wrist away with a slap. Do not touch me, I say like a locked door. Her cheeks stiffen as control slides off the table. House rules, she tosses, chin high and daring. Respect first, I answer, shoulders square and unshaking. Or get out, she fires, breath short and brittle. Not moving, I tell her, voice level and cold. She scans the faces and finds fewer friends than expected. Someone at the arch clears his throat with intent. Got a preview, he murmurs, index finger on screen. The clip shows her first jab, grainy but obvious. A ripple of whispers rolls across the tiles like wind. She hears it and understands the tide just turned. Her grin returns, thinner now, edged like foil. She lifts her drink and tilts it toward my shoes. I shift left and the splash catches her ankle. A sharp breath jerks from her like a cough. I let the silence hold while the moment sinks in. Call it even, Tyler tries, palms up and pleading. I hold his gaze for a heartbeat. And release it. Equality needs truth, I say, keeping tone neutral. Her bracelets clatter against her wrist like loose parts. No one laughs this time because stakes are visible. She reaches for the counter and steadies herself hard. Walk away now, she hisses, voice thin and strained. Last warning, I give, hands open but ready. A chair scrapes and someone bumps a cabinet in panic. One wrong motion and the night burns down. She aims the lens at my face with shaking grip. Confess for the clip, she orders through clenched teeth. Roll it from the start, I answer with a nod. The kid with the phone scrolls back and freezes. Jade watches the frame and loses half an inch. That angle lies, she spits, shoulders tight as rope. Pick another, I counter, pointing toward the hallway. A second recording appears with clearer placement and audio. The shove lands on screen like a stamp. Now the room decides who it will believe. She drags a hand through her hair and steadies again. You're clinging to drama, she sneers, voice wobbling slightly. You built it, I tell her, pulse iron and calm. She takes one step back and checks Tyler for rescue. He stays still because rescue would burn him now. Jade squares herself and raises her chin for round two. Say you regret this, she tries with a brittle smile. I regret letting it slide before tonight, I answer. The ceiling feels low as breath stacks in the space. I know the next words will mark everything that follows. She opens her mouth and shuts it like a trap misfired. A timer beeps somewhere and nobody moves for it. Clip is saved, the kid announces with quiet certainty. Jade hears saved and her eyes flash like a flare. We have proof and she has pride and both cut. Her hand darts for the screen and I intercept the wrist. The kid recoils and tucks the phone behind his back. Hands off my friend, I warn, heat steady and rising. Jade yanks free and lets her smile go sharp. This is where she usually crushes people into dust. She claps once and points toward the hallway like a captain. Two girls peel from the crowd and flank her shoulders. Escort time, she announces, eyes locked on mine. I plant my stance and lift both palms chest high. No one wants to be first, yet someone will jump. Tyler steps between us with shoulders tight and voice low. Pause, he pleads, gaze flicking for an answer that fits. His hand hovers near mine then drops, unsure again. Move tide, Jade orders, chin angled like a spear. He freezes because picking a side here draws blood. I tap my collarbone and breathe slow until my pulse obeys. We can end it, Klein, I tell her with care. Say the truth now and I live in peace. She laughs once and scans faces for her jury. Silence answers and that rattles her backbone. One of her friends steps forward with nervous bravado. Out the girl says, shoulders squared but eyes skittering. I look past her to the doorway and stay still. Touch me and we're done pretending, I warn calmly. Even Jade blanks because the room believes me. Jade snatches a towel and tosses it at my chest. Dry up and disappear, she snaps, trying for command. The fabric hits and slides to the floor, useless. I nudge it aside with my shoe and lift my chin. I will not clean her mess to keep her legend alive. She paces one step and the circle widens by inches. Last chance, she says, voice thin with cold fury. You apologize and I forget you exist tonight. I do not need your amnesia, I answer flat. A few gasps pop like kernels, then die out. She tries a new angle with a sudden tender tone. You overreacted and scared people, she murmurs smoothly. Make it right and this ends right now. I hold her gaze until the soft act cracks. Manipulation tastes like sugar on a knife. Tyler rubs his forehead and stares at the tiles. Both of you breathe, he urges, words slow and careful. He looks at me like he hopes I will fold. Not again, not after the first push and smear. He senses it too, the old script just broke. Jade points at the kid with the saved clip. Delete it, she commands, taking one step his way. He shifts behind a shoulder and shakes his head. Already sent, he whispers, guilt and pride mixed. Her face blanks, control slamming into a locked door. She pivots and aims at me with a new weapon. You're banned from my place, she declares, voice ringing. Anyone who backs her can leave with her now. Shoes scrape as people weigh alliances like rent. Power shifts are loud when they happen in public. I lift my chin and speak so the room hears. I will go when I choose, I say without heat. I am not bargaining with threats and rewrites. She advances half a step like a storm about to break. I brace because the next move will cost someone. Her friend lunges first with both palms toward my shoulders. I sidestep and trap her wrist, then release clean. No damage, I warn, and the warning lands hard. The FR. Ian retreats with cheeks flushed and pride bruised. Jade watches and weighs escalation against optics. Enough, Tyler finally snaps, voice slicing the chatter. He plants himself fully in front of her line. Stop before this goes beyond tonight, he orders. Jade stares at him like the floor just tilted. If he picks fairness, she loses her favorite audience. She smiles again, brittle and bright like glass. Fine, she says, smoothing hair that doesn't need smoothing. You want fair, she leaves, and I let it drop. My pulse steadies because the bargain reveals her fear. She will trade mercy only when receipts multiply. I walk when you retract, I answer, words clipped. Say you started it and we're finished here. Murmurs rustle as people edge closer to the verdict. Jade's jaw works once as she measures the fall. This is the part she never rehearsed. Her eyes narrow and she tries a final bluff. Nobody remembers a nudge after sunrise, she scoffs. Everyone remembers defiance that ruins a night. Then remember it, I tell her with clear voice. A tremor moves through her like thunder far away. For a second she looks past me at the entry, calculating exits and witnesses and mourning fallout. Get out of my way, she mutters to Tyler. He stays anchored and does not blink once. Whatever comes next, he finally understands the price. Jade inhales and sets her shoulders for the swing. I match her stare and let quiet pressure do work. 3 words, I say, holding up 3 fingers. You touched me, the room counts with me in silence. She opens her mouth and the whole night leans forward. She opens with a lie and I cut through it. Say it clean, I press, 3 fingers held high. Her mouth flattens and her gaze jumps to allies. No rescue arrives, only quiet that grows teeth. She hates quiet more than proof. She surges forward and Tyler locks an arm across her. Stop, he barks, stands set like a post. She shakes him off and points straight at my chest. Leave, she fires, voice hard and fast. I do not budge because leaving would crown her. A camera light winks from the doorway and lands on us. Roll from contact, I call, palm steady in the air. Jade pivots toward the lens with a rehearsed pout. The feed catches her reach before her performance starts. She notices and her shoulders spike with anger. She lunges for the kid and I step between. Touch him and you own this, I warn, quiet but sharp. Her friends inch forward, then freeze at my stance. They want a shove they can spin. I give them nothing they can twist. Delete now, she orders, eyes locked on the screen. Too late, the kid answers, thumbs trembling yet firm. A murmur ripples as messages chirp from pockets. She hears the alerts and swallows rage like fire. She is losing the room one buzz at a time. Everyone out except family, she declares, voice ringing. No one moves because the word family draws lines. Tyler lifts his hands and faces the crowd. Stay put, he says, jaw tight with choice. He just picked truth over blood. Her stare drills him and then swings back to me. You want me humiliated, she snarls, breath clipped short. I want you accountable, I answer, pulse steady now. You crossed a body for attention. She flinches because the word attention leaves marks. She throws a towel toward my feet and smiles thinly. Wipe it up and I forgive you, she tries again. I nudge the cloth aside with one slow push. Forgiveness without honesty is theater, I say. The crowd leans in because theater just got receipts. A girl near the arch clears her throat and speaks. I saw the first hit, she says, hands shaking. Jade rounds on her like a hawk that spots prey. The girl stiffens but holds her ground. A second witness steps forward and nods. Stop stacking liars, Jade snaps, voice cracking at the edges. Stacked were your threats, I answer without raising mine. 3 words and this ends. She knows the 3 and hates them like salt. Her pride hovers near the ledge. She turns to Tyler for an exit he cannot grant. Fix this, she pleads, eyes glossy with fury. He rubs his brow and finally meets my look. I won't erase what happened, he says. A gasp breaks because that sentence redraws the map. Jade spins back and chooses chaos over surrender. She swipes at my wrist and misses by inches. I catch her forearm and release before pain counts. Careful, I warn, tone flat as a gavel. One more lunge and the night fractures. Security, someone mutters, phone already near an ear. She hears the word and goes still like a trapped animal. I won't be recorded calling them, I add. Your options shrink with each stunt. Her breath stutters because the box is closing. She tries charm like a lighter that won't spark. We're friends here, she coos, lashes fluttering for sympathy. The room answers with silence that bruises. Charm never survives playback. She feels that truth in her bones. 3 words I repeat, hand raised like a metronome. You pushed me. Each syllable lands and stays. Her lower lip trembles then hardens. She glares at the lens like it betrayed her. Fine, she spits, volume low but aimed. I pushed you. The sentence is small and heavy at once. It lands and the air finally moves. I wait because victory without terms invites revenge. Say the rest, I add, voice measured and clear. I wanted the spectacle. Her eyes flash pain and defiance together. You wanted the spectacle, I echo for the room. Now the echo belongs to everyone. Tyler exhales and closes his eyes for a beat. Enough for tonight, he says, palms open between us. I hold his look and nod once. I'm done when she is done, I answer. Jade's throat works as she swallows the crowd. She turns away, then stops halfway like a skipped track. You will regret this, she whispers, smile rebuilt and sharp. Not a threat I take lightly. I fold the towel and set it on the counter. I walk past her without flinching and wait for the blowback. Notifications burst around us, and she lunged for the nearest screen. I stepped into her path and she skidded short. Move, she hissed through clenched teeth, eyes hard. Too late, I answered, watching shares climb on a lock screen. The ripple of forwarding hands her a mirror she hates. She pivoted to Tyler and grabbed his sleeve. Get them out, she demanded, nails pressing a warning. He peeled free and planted himself between our lines. Night is over if this continues, he warned slowly. Her stare burned through him, then snapped back to me. 2 of her friends edged closer with uneasy bravado. Door, one muttered, chin jerking toward the exit. I shifted half a step so they'd choose wisely. Touch me and involve the neighbors, I said. They stalled because sirens ruin reputations fast. She tried a new angle and softened her voice. We all drank, she cooed, smile rebuilt and friendly. Let's chalk it up to heat of the moment. I held the line because amnesia rewards predators. Her smile slipped like a glove that never fit. Play back from the start, I told the kid near the arch. He lifted the device and scrubbed to the shove. The opening hit rolled, then the second lunge. Murmurs rose, sharp and unforgiving like gravel. She stared at the footage and tasted a different rank. Jade strode to the sink and turned on the tap. She splashed her face, then laughed without humor. "Congratulations," she called, voice bright and brittle. "You blew up a birthday to prove a point." I felt the room watch me for a crack. "Point was consent," I said, pulse steadying in place. "You steamrolled it for claps and fear." She gripped the counter and measured me again. "Say sorry for tone and we reset," she offered softly. Her bait dangled with sugar and barbs. From the hall, a voice cut in with crisp certainty. "Footage hit the alumni chat already," the kid announced. "Comments are asking why a mentor shoved guests." Heads turned as screens lit with fresh threads. Her mouth thinned as influence met its audit. She advanced 3 paces and stopped nose to nose. "If you cared about women, you'd give me grace," she said. "Grace follows ownership," I replied, breath even and firm. "Without it, grace is camouflage." A few heads dipped because camouflage sounded familiar. She straightened and chose force over finesse again. "Everyone out except family now," she barked, arms wide. "Stay," Tyler countered, voice calm but unyielding. Her jaw twitched and the party froze mid-step. Power danced between us and landed in his lane. A bottle toppled behind me and shattered into hush. I didn't turn because flinching gives ground. She flinched instead, tiny, involuntary, expensive. "You're done here," she announced, volume lower than before. "Try me," I said and lifted my chin. She lunged. I caught her forearm and rotated just enough. The move redirected without harm, clean and final. Gasps punched the air and then held still. I released her and waited for the next card. Security finally arrived at the threshold and scanned faces. "Which of you called?" one asked, hands open and patient. Nobody claimed it, so they watched the tension. "We're good," Tyler told them, voice steady like ballast. They lingered because something still hummed under our words. Jade wiped her face with the back of her hand. "Leave now and I keep quiet online," she offered sharply. Silence stretched while heads recalculated stakes. "You won't keep quiet," I said, knowing her pattern. "That's why the recording travels without you." She exhaled through her nose and chose a final tack. "Apologize to me personally and to this house," she ordered. "Then apologize to the girls who look up to me." I studied the doorway and the people inside it. "No," I said, and the refusal cut clean. "Then we are enemies," she whispered, breath hot against my cheek. "I prefer boundaries," I answered, stepping past her shoulder. My shoes squeaked across the wet tile like signatures. Tyler reached for my arm and missed on purpose. I kept walking because stopping would invite another trap. At the threshold, she tossed one more warning after me. "You'll regret crossing me," she called, voice velvet and venom. The words followed like a scent that promised trouble. I paused long enough to be sure she saw my face. "I'm done fearing high school trophies," I said and left her fuming. My phone vibrates before I reach the sidewalk, unknown number, threat in text. "Post and I scorch your job," the message reads. I stop under the porch and stare at the promise. Another ping arrives with a cropped screenshot of my face. I pocket the phone and turn back toward the door, ready. Tyler slips out behind me and shuts it gently. "She's spiraling," he says, palms open like surrender. "She's blasting a story in 10 minutes. "Then we beat the clock," I answer, voice flat. He nods once because hesitation wastes time. I pull up the clip and draft 3 lines. No adjectives, no theater, just the contact and time. "Share it if you were there," I add. Tyler swallows and taps send on his end. We watch the counters jump like live wire. Her call comes fast, I let it ring twice. "Take it down," her voice crackles, breath fast. "It makes me look like a monster." "Fix your actions, not our receipts," I say. Silence holds, then she hangs up hard. A new post pings from her account with sparkle emojis. "Rumors are wild," she writes, tone sweet and joking. "The internet never tells the whole story." Replies fill with the frames we released. Her joke curdles while the truth mounts. She calls again, I answer on speaker. You want a gotcha, she spits, voice clipped. Now apologize publicly and I'll forgive your tone. No apology, I say, dry as a lock. Correct the record and we end this. Meet me outside, she says through teeth. Without an audience, be brave. I step off the porch and face the path. She appears with fast steps and a stubborn stare. Two girls trail behind her like shadows. Admit you set me up, she demands, chin raised. Admit you grabbed me first, I return, feet planted. Her friends trade looks and adjust their phones. Put them away, she snaps without turning. One obeys, one keeps recording from the hip. She moves closer until our breath almost touches. Do you want me canceled, she asks, voice hushed. I want you honest, I say, pulse slow and steady. Say it now and walk back inside. Her throat works as the moment narrows. Fine, she whispers, gaze flicking to the street. I lost my temper and crossed your line. Say it clearer, I press, giving her the words. I shoved you to make a scene, she says. The last three words scrape out like gravel. Post that, I answer, not shifting an inch. She jerks her head toward her friend for help. The girl nods and hits record with a careful thumb. Use your account, I add, eyes never leaving. No edits, no winks, no saving face. She opens the app and stalls. Her fingers hover above the keyboard, shaking. A car passes and rattles the curb a little. She types slowly, then stops halfway through. I need a softer version, she mutters. Then you keep this fire, I tell her, unblinking. Your choice decides what burns tonight. Her shoulders drop, then square again like armor. She types the full sentence and presses post. Her friends gasp at the notification bell. Done, she says, voice low and tight. You got what you wanted, are we finished? We're not enemies, I say, stepping back once. We're adults with consequences. Her eyes flash wet, then harden. Do you feel pain? Powerful, she asks, smirk crooked. I feel tired, I answer, stomach hollow and humming. Tired and clean. For a beat, she almost smiles. Then pride kicks and the smile dies. Tyler approaches with cautious steps and steady breath. Thank you, he tells her, eyes steady on hers. For telling the truth even this late. She flinches like the words sting. He shifts to me and nods once. Are we safe here tonight, he asks, voice even. I'm leaving, I say, glancing toward the street. Let the house cool off without me. He exhales like he's been holding it for hours. I'll call tomorrow, he adds and means it. I start walking, footsteps follow, then stop. Behind me her voice travels soft and sharp. You won't ruin me, she calls to my shoulders. I won't have to, I say without turning. Your echo will handle that. At the corner, my phone lights with new replies. Screenshots of her post flood every thread. Comments divide, then tilt toward the footage. A mentor from her program asks for a talk. I breathe once, slow and deliberate, bracing for fallout. Tyler texts a final check before I cross. Do you regret any of it? The message reads. I pause under the street sign and look back. Not the no, I type, thumb steady on glass. I regret waiting this long to use it. A horn blares and pulls me forward again. My shirt clings and chills like a reminder. I picture tomorrow's whispers forming like weather. I keep my pace and let them form without me. I learned how to stand, and I'm not giving it back.